December 19th, 2023. Welcome to the Wrestling Inc. podcast talking about NXT. I'm Glenn, joined by Issa. And we're here tonight to spend our Tuesday.
No, we still have Friday. I was going to say this. Well, this is our last NXT show of the year.
Last NXT show of the year. Yes. Although the awards voting just opened for the NXT awards on WWE.com.
Ooh, we got a vote, Glenn. We're experts.
Yeah. Everybody go. We should look at the categories. We should talk about this.
Yeah, we should.
Help our audience fill out their ballots. Yes. Because I think they're going to want to know. Before we dive into anything, and while I look this all up, anything going on in the news?
Well, I saw today that MJF alleges that he has not re-signed with AEW.
Sure.
See, so that was my original response, Glenn. But then I thought about how they had Cody Rhodes with the TNT title and he wasn't re-signed. And then I remembered that Moxley was the AEW World Champ in the midst of negotiations. Would it shock you if this is actually truth?
I mean, I think it's got to be a done deal in every way possible.
I thought it was a done deal back when he had that weird promo and went away for like 3 months, remember, after the Double or Nothing drama? Mm-hmm. But there's a part of me that wants to think, I will hope that TK has learned from the people that he's lost and he's securing the people that he wants to keep early on. But it also wouldn't shock me because they have a history of letting these people go all the way to the end of their contract. I personally think MJF made this statement maybe to build some kind of storyline with their next pay-per-view event being at the end of the year, and he's supposedly a free agent on the 1st. You know what I mean? But who knows? But that caught my eye. That's about it.
Okay, that's the news, folks.
I don't read the news. I try to stay away from all that.
Yeah, I know. So we're going to talk about the end to tonight's NXT.
Oh, no, wait. Before that, did you see that WWE has now signed Bray Wyatt to a legend contract?
I saw that.
So that way all the presentation goes to his family for the remaining of time. And that is a class act move, and I love that. That is a piece of news that I did not mind seeing come across my timeline today.
Absolutely. That still, he'll always be missed, but that's something for his family. It's nice that they're able to do.
Yes.
I got a lot of thoughts about the way NXT ended tonight, and I want to save it for the end of the show because if we open with this, I'm just like. So if you don't watch NXT tonight, they're working this angle with Ridge Holland, where Ridge Holland is like, "Oh, I'm cursed. I'm injuring people," referring to what he did to Big E accidentally. These things happen in the course of professional wrestling. Big E is, I believe, gone on the record saying he forgives him. He understands this is all in the game. And so Ridge having this and carrying this weight, the fact that they're referencing this in the storyline, and they've referenced it, I believe, lightly before, saying like, "Oh, I'm dangerous," yada yada. But to have this be something that he's carrying as this burden and this guilt, and then they worked what everyone believes is a fake injury angle. And I say that because this was taped last Wednesday. We would, I believe, know about it if Dragunov was seriously injured and something happened. There were a couple tells tonight during the end of the match. But they're working this angle that Ridge is cursed and injured Dragunov. And they did this with, normally I would commend and say, "Oh my God, this was so sold. They sold this so well. This was so well acted." But you know what? Actually, no, that makes it worse. The way this ended tonight. We'll talk about when we get there, but this is fresh in the memory as the show just went off the air. And thinking about this, it's a real blight on what is otherwise was a fine episode of NXT. What is still my favorite weekly show in all of wrestling. I don't know why they're doing this angle. Dragunov doesn't need this going to his championship match against Trick Williams and New Year's Evil. Ridge doesn't need this.
We'll get to it when we get to it. I do have some thoughts as well of why they did it, but it still doesn't make it all right.
Yeah. So the NXT award, on that note, the NXT awards are open for voting.
You know who's not in him? Rich Holland. Because he doesn't even go here.
So I posted the link in the chat if everyone wants to go and vote. You can vote for Match of the Year, Moment
What are
of
the nominees?
Are there nominees? Yes. The Men's Iron Survivor Challenge at Deadline.
Okay.
Carmelo versus Dragunov at No Mercy.
Duh.
Dragunov versus Dijak at Battleground.
Oof, I forgot about that. That was a banger. Yeah. Okay.
Becky Lynch versus Tiffany Stratton at No Mercy.
Oh, nice.
Axiom versus Tyler Bate at the Global Heritage Invitational.
No.
Johnny Gargano versus Grayson Waller.
Damn, that was way back then.
I know.
Huh?
Rollins versus Braun Breaker.
Okay.
Roxanne Perez versus Blair Davenport. JD McDonough versus Dragon Lee. Roxanne Perez versus...
Nominated every freaking match.
I know. Roxanne Perez versus Kiana James at Halloween Havoc. And Eddie Thorpe versus Damon Kemp.
Por favor. They really put that in there?
They put that in there.
This awards just lost all credibility. All right.
I'm surprised. I did think the Men's Iron Survivor Challenge was good. I do think the Women's Iron Survivor match was good. I also think the Women's Ladder match they had at Stand and Deliver was also quite good. I'm surprised those aren't in here. But I know what I'm voting for on my secret ballot.
Okay.
We'll come back to this. We'll come back to the different categories throughout the night.
Okay.
Next up is Tag Team of the Year. We'll talk about that. I think you know who we're voting for, but we'll discuss.
Well, I don't know, because you sold out. You might vote for somebody else.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I'll never forget.
Chase, you and Andre Chase need our support more now than ever. He has a problem.
I can't wait to talk about that segment.
Okay. So let's talk about, we opened the show versus Tiffany Stratton versus Fallon Henley. And this match didn't go on too long, but they're really heating up this rivalry.
3 minutes stop.
Yeah. But then it went to the backstage area after Fallon won. And
he got messy, Glenn. So Fallon,
yes.
It was kind of like a sneak win, like a roll-up. You know what I mean? Like, I should have not won it. So of course Tiffany did not take lightly to that happening. I didn't like Tiffany losing, not gonna lie, but because of what she did after, I think she's back on, you know what I mean.
Beat her with a mop.
Bro, that's offensive.
Called her trash.
I hated the mop part more than the trash.
Yeah. Okay, but I gotta jump ahead though. You know what I love though about this is that their next match, if Tiffany wins, Fallon has to be her personal servant.
And Tiffany's definitely winning. So I'm looking forward to see. Oh my God. Tiffany, this is later on the show. Tiffany cuts a promo and she said, a person like me wouldn't step into your crappy bar. And I was like, yes, Tiffany. I love Tiffany. She's still my favorite thing.
Yeah, she was really good tonight. But this personal servant angle, I like. I've advocated for this for years, NXT. Rather than run these fake injury angles, let's have some classic sitcom plots. Like Fallon has to be Tiffany's personal servant. How about Braun Breaker gets hit in the head with a coconut one week, loses his memory, doesn't know who he is, becomes like nice guy Braun.
Whatever happened to custody of Robert Stone's kid match with Von Wagner?
Yes, you know? We need more classic sitcom plots. What if Von Wagner and Robert Stone have to share a room, but they're not getting along, so they take a piece of tape and they cut the room in half, and one side is Von Wagner's and the other side is Robert Stone's. Think about it. It's gold. Yeah. Yes. What about evil twins also? We need somebody's evil twin to show up.
This is not Pretty Little Liars. Let's not go there.
I miss the evil twin trope, but so Tiffany versus Fallon, fun start to the show. I think it was very well done.
Tiffany mopped her. She mopped the floor with her, but like in a literal way, you guys. If you didn't watch the show, you missed it.
It was something. I enjoyed this. It was a fun opening to the show. And then we had Trick and Carmelo backstage.
No, hold on. Before you move on, who is the NXT janitor? Because why are you not throwing it is. Why are you not throwing the water away immediately? What is that guy that's with the wankers? Wasn't he like some kind of worker and they hired him? I think he's the NXT janitor.
What if Joe Gacy's the NXT janitor now?
Well, I don't know, but whoever it is, I You know, really grind my gears, Glenn. If you got done mopping, throw that water out. Don't be leaving that sitting there. That's disgusting. Who still uses like the bucket and like there's all kinds of fancy new mops now that you don't even need that stuff.
In the TKO era, they got to save some money, so they're reusing mop water.
That's disgusting.
People still use a mop in a bucket. That hasn't gone out of style. You don't use that at home. I mean, you could use it at home. Most people don't, but in commercial places, absolutely.
When I used to have, it was very dark bamboo floors in my New York apartment. The best thing to use was just warm water and a mop. But because I'm so OCD, I will have to switch mops like every month. Because like once the mop gets too much dirty, it's not gonna make the same effect. But I will try all this wood stuff and Murphy oil, this and that, nothing. And then I finally asked one of the people that worked there because the lobby ones always look so good. And then she was like, "You want me to really tell you?" And I'm like, "Yes." She was like, "It's just warm water and a clean mop." And I'm like, so yeah, I did use it back then. Now here, floor problems. I have these really shiny tiles, beautiful. But I need them to look shiny at all time. If I see any kind of stain on it, like it drives me crazy. So I'm a slave of floors. Like I need to stop. I need to figure out what the right flooring is that it's not gonna get me to spend like 10 hours of my day mopping because I haven't gotten it right.
Yeah, we got the vinyl planking that looks like wood, and it's fine. You know, but I've had real wood floors. Now you had the the vinegar cleaner.
The bamboo floor, the warm water with a little bit of vinegar. If there were like extra, like if there was like when it was snowing and you get extra things on the floor,
Everyone comes to the Wrestling Inc. podcast for hot floor talk. Can talk about getting a power buffer and some wax.
Ooh, maybe that's what I need for this kind of tile. Like it's beautiful. Like one of the selling points, renting points for me for this apartment was the floors. And now I'm like, why did I take these floors?
Jonathan Lyman brand saying it's sad as I'm mopping right now listening to y'all. Jonathan gets it.
Make sure you throw the water out, Jonathan.
Yeah, seriously. Oh my God. Okay, so next week we'll talk about the best way to clean your glass shower. Is it a squeegee? Stay tuned. So never felt more grown up than when we actually had a squeegee in the bathroom.
We're so old.
I know. That's why I was like, oh, I'm an old man now.
I saw I saw TikTok today, and it was like this teacher asked his students, their kids, what to buy people that are 30 years or older for Christmas. And I'm like, whatever, what they say. And when I started seeing the responses, I never felt older. Everything was accurate. It was like a heated blanket because their muscles hurt. Like stuff from Bath and Body Works. And they love that. And I was like, somebody said Panera Bread gift card because they love soup. And I'm like, okay, I feel attacked at this point. Why are these kids this way?
But law-abiding citizen has it right. Rather than evil twin, Tiffany Stratton should have a nice twin.
That would be a twist right there. Yes. I like that.
Maybe an identical cousin. We can go old school with it. Okay. So Trick and Carmella were backstage and accidents happen. These guys keep accidentally bumping into each other. And it's like, it's all good. I know you didn't mean it, even though we went off the air last week looking like you meant it.
Yeah.
So should it be a triple threat? I like how Carmella's like, it doesn't matter who's the champion as long as one of us has it. And Trick's like, it matters.
He thought he was doing something with that, Glenn. It triggered me. First of all, the conversation started with Trick giving him all these props about how good he did on SmackDown. Oh, you moved on. That's awesome. And then he's like, why don't we make your match a triple threat? Like, not only do you want the United States champion, but you want to take Trick's shot too. Yeah. You're not that smooth, Melo. You're not.
No.
I didn't like that. And I typically love Melo. Maybe it's because I've always been very fond of Trick Williams, respectfully. But I just didn't like that. Like, he didn't feel like a legit friend there for a second. He felt jealous.
Yeah, this is still simmering.
Yeah.
This is still gonna come to a head at some point. I think it's gonna be good. So yeah, Rage Dragunov was out there looking really good, saying he feels like the third wheel in a bromance movie.
He is. This feud has not been about Dragunov at all.
Yeah. Well, and that's what makes me wonder. Okay, so Ridge Holland came out and Ridge asked for this opportunity because Ridge is like, oh, I'm cursed. I know. I don't think this main event did anything to lift that curse, like both in kayfabe or in reality. I mean, it's just, in fact, he's now cursed with the most tone deaf storyline in quite some time.
Yeah.
In and not just NXT, all of WWE. I can't even remember the last tone deaf thing they did that was this just sort of puzzlingly bad. But we'll get into that. Okay, so they set them up for this main event.
I don't need. I didn't even realize that Ridge Holland spoke. I don't need 10-minute promos between them, and I get it because they were trying to sell us what happened later on. But I need, like, there's something about Dragunov that I just like. I really like Dragunov in the ring, so I want Dragunov to be more of a silent assassin. You know what I mean? Like, let people talk and be like, okay, I'll see you at this event, and then he just kicks their asses. And Ridge Holland, I didn't need any of this. I didn't need this match. You know what's sad? Later on, I was like, what's the main event? Like, I completely forgot they even made the match. After they talked for 10 minutes. That's how weak this promo segment was, in my opinion.
Yeah. Lexis King cut a promo. The Breakout tournament, this match, first step to him being NXT champion.
Did you pay close attention to his beard, Glenn?
I mean, how can you not?
Okay, what do you think they used to, like, create the shape in his beard? Because go ahead, just
I get targeted on Facebook a lot with these beard grooming accessories.
Okay,
maybe he's trying to tell me something about my beard, which you can't see right now. It's very faint because I shaved it so it'll grow back, hopefully thicker and stronger. I've been saying that for 20 years now. Okay. This is the time when it comes back full.
Thicker and stronger.
Yes.
That for you.
So I get targeted with videos on Facebook all the time. People are like, "Oh, I'm putting painter's tape over while I trim this," or. But you know what the real trick is, though? Thinking about it, so one, there are guides to get that line, but then there's also they're using a brush to fill it in.
Right.
Yeah.
But you don't think that somebody put like a pair of testicles right here? You don't think it looks like some like testes?
I hadn't really thought of it that way.
Please look at it again and tell me you won't be able to unsee it. And maybe they're not like real ones. Maybe they're the ones, the ones
that are real ones. I don't think they're real ones.
Did you remember when people used to put like these hanging balls on the back of their pickup trucks for reasons? You know what I'm talking about?
For reasons. I mean, yes.
Yeah, but they used to have them like all over the place. Like, actually, there was a big...
They're called truck nuts.
Yeah, there was a big like war between who invented them, and the two guys were like going at it. I don't know why I know this. The whole point is that there have to be... I'm not saying that the barber is putting his nuts in there. I'm saying that maybe they got some truck nuts and put them in there and like shaped around.
I know, it was the biggest, hottest topic in all of automotive since spinning rims and the stickers of Calvin.
The truck nut.
Yes.
There was two guys trying to claim they invented it.
I know. Well, we'll never know. We'll never know with the spinners.
We'll never know. If you go, listen, I go down very weird rabbit holes on YouTube when I can't sleep. That's how I ran into this story. That's how I know this. I'm full of conversation that will break the ice, but I'm not sure that that's the right way.
Wait, that's what you're going to say.
Like, imagine we're sitting at a bar and I'm like, hey, you know who invented this?
The truck nuts?
The truck nuts?
It's a mystery. Not next.
You ever hear about that drama?
Yeah, get to the bottom of who invented the decal of Calvin from Calvin and Hobbes peeing on things.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I remember that too. But anyways, maybe they use some truck nuts because they came in different sizes. But the whole thing that I'm trying to say is it looks like a pair of little testes. And I can't focus on anything he says.
Okay. I understand.
That's all. I will say, though, I'm a fan of him sneaking his way into things. Like faking that he attacked Trick to get that match with Carmelo and now sneaking into the tournament. I am a fan of that.
He's going to be GM of NXT, you know.
Well, that's Ava Rain's job.
We didn't see Ava
The Rock. He's going to have to fight The Rock if he wants that.
It was interesting backstage when they showed Cora Jade coming back and they were showing all the women's lockers. Ava Rain's locker just said Ava on it. Everyone else had their full name. So I wonder if they're rebranding her.
Somebody needs to start putting little rocks just to piss her off.
Why would you do this? You know, nepotism.
Piss her off. Like, put a rock in there.
Put a rock in there. There you go.
And then she takes it out pissed off because she wants to have her own identity. And then the next day, another rock in there.
Her and Lexis King can talk about that.
Yeah.
That should be his pickup to her. Lexis King should be like, I too know what it's like.
That's why she got in the match.
Yeah. Yeah. Ooh, there was the Nepo, like the Nepo
oh
baby.
Oh my God,
faction.
Nepo baby gimmick. Oh, I will be here for it. Because there's so many like second and third generation wrestler. I love that actually.
Yeah, Miss NXT. There's a lot. Okay. So Lexis King beat Dion Lennox.
Doesn't Dion Lennox sounds like a operating system? Like, what do you run on, bro? Oh, I run on some Dion Lennox. You know, like I feel like it sounds that way.
Yes, and it's tough because it's all command line. I have to boot it off a USB stick.
Yeah.
I never have the right drivers for it. Like it loads up and I can't figure out how to mount my hard drive. Yeah, Dion Lennox, like that's some advanced level computing.
Correct. That's the dark web. Like you use it to connect to the dark web.
Dark web.
That's the internet browser for the dark web.
I got Dion Lennox. It's got a VPN. It's got VPN built in, so that way I'm
secure. Whatever, VPNs suck nowadays. Like they can still figure out you're using a VPN, and they'll be like, "Yeah, no, you cannot watch this show." Oh. And I paid for the whole year, so I'm stuck with it.
We'll talk off the air. You got to get a router level VPN.
Okay, you got all the tricks?
Well, I tried this.
At least it's still working for my Paramount Plus, which is my most important one. Paramount Plus is still not up to date.
I figured it out right for the season finale of Yellow Jacket season 1.
Yeah, when you were trying to get an Australia thing.
Yeah, of Australia, and I figure out how to do it. I just didn't have an Australian credit card. That's what thwarted me.
Why did you message Dylan?
I know. Well, if that happens again, now it's worldwide debut same time. But I figured it out using a router level VPN. I figured out how to do it.
Wow. So you're okay. I see you, Glenn.
I don't know. Like, okay, here's the weird shit, Issa. Let me just break this down for the people. Like, there's so many streaming services out there now that if you subscribe to even half of them, you're paying more than you ever paid for cable. Mm-hmm. And then because you're like, F the man, I'm going to get my bootleg IPTV. I'm going to get my VPN. I'm going to get all this stuff. You're paying more than if you just bought the legal streaming services.
Correct.
And you're spending all this time trying to like get this shit to work. It's not easy. It's just not easy.
It's not. I pay for all of them and not even for me. It's just for my family. And sometimes they call me. It's just to ask me for a password. They don't even say, how are you? How you doing? Are you doing okay? No. Hey, can I get your password for insert streaming service? Come on.
I feel you. I got it.
Be better.
So Lexis King got run off by Trey Bearhill, who eliminated from the tournament by attacking him.
I forgot about him.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens between them. But it was nice they got a little reappearance. Eddie Thorpe explained how his Ryjak with Dijak, his rivalry with Dijak. There you go. His rivalry with Dijak has been hard on his family, and the ring can't contain them. So next week they're gonna have a no ropes match in the NXT Underground.
Did he not tell his family that he's no longer a DJ? Maybe his family still thought he was a DJ. They showed up for Bring Your Family to Work Day and realized he's getting his ass kicked all the time. Like, did he not tell them that's why he does? I think he's still
DJing. He's just not doing it as much.
Well, I don't think he told his family that he's wrestling now, because why would it be hard on his family? If I tell you, hey, I'm wrestling, you're going to expect that my job is tough.
I need to go back in 2024 to DJing. I was doing that using the DJ program because it can separate everything now, the vocals, and you can mix stuff together. So I was doing that when I was on the treadmill, and I was just mixing Vanessa Carlton's 1,000 Miles with I tried to do it with 1,000 different songs to make 1,000 mashups of 1,000 Miles.
I love what you do in your free time, Glenn.
I need to start doing that. I've been playing video games lately, which feels like a waste of time.
That's your origin. That's who you really are.
I know. Well, kind of. So Marvel's Midnight Suns is incredible. If you want a good single player game set in the Marvel universe, about halfway through it, loving it. But have you seen Fortnite? What they've done with Fortnite now?
No. What are they doing?
Fortnite has classic Fortnite that we all know and love. Then there's Fortnite Racing with the cars from Rocket League, and it's a full racing game. There's Fortnite Lego, which is Fortnite and Legos as a game. Oh, but wait. Then there's Fortnite Festival, which guess what? Did you ever want to play Guitar Hero on your controller? Because you can do that in Fortnite Festival.
when you're performing at the festival, do you see the new tag team champions, Kaden and Katana, in the crowd jamming out?
They should be there. Oh my god!
I know, 1000%.
Yes. Oh my god, that'd be good. But Fortnite Festival, it's like I was playing it. I was like, I miss plastic instruments. That made it more fun. Rather, I'm sitting there trying to play Belle Biv DeVoe's Poison on my controller. Like,
I like Guitar Hero, but I'm gonna be honest. My favorite was SingStar on PlayStation 2.
Really?
It came with the mic, and oh my god, I killed it. I thought I hit all the notes.
I feel you. I too have thought I hit all.
I was getting points. It was a good singer. I don't know, but I was getting the points. Okay.
There you go. So yes, 2024. I go back to DJing, and then everything will be happy. I bought a little guitar, like a cheap guitar to have in my office, just to have something to do occasionally, like to occupy myself, because it felt weird using like a nice guitar just to futz around with. And what's happened is I just play the opening riff to Michael Jackson's Beat It, which I just learned 2 weeks ago. I just play that like 3 times and I sit it down. But I can't believe now that song's 40 years old. And I just was like, I'm going to learn that on guitar. It was not hard.
That's amazing. It's never too late.
Never too late. Mia Lee, $1.99. Back to the wrestling. Mia Lee, $1.99 says, who gets the title next? Nikita, Cora, or Lola?
I love that Mia Lee completely skipped Blair, who's actually getting the next shot. So that already means that we all assume that she's not winning. I think Cora Jade.
Yeah, I can see that. I think Nikita gets a Mania weekend.
Yeah, I think Nikita being a face with Lara being a face, I can see Cora getting it first.
Yeah, I think it'll be great. Good showcase for Nikita tonight. We'll talk.
If I'm Lola Vice, though, I hang on to that contract for a little bit because again, they have a lot of like title contenders right now. Yeah. So I'll wait for that scene to cool off a little bit before I try to cash in. Otherwise, she might fail.
Well, let's talk about our picks. We're voting for the NXT year-end awards, the tag team of the year. Now go to WWE.com, click the NXT page, and then scroll down and you'll see a thing to vote in the NXT year-end awards.
Okay.
Tag team of the year. The candidates are the Creed brothers, Gallus.
They killed it last night on Raw.
Gallus, Brooks and Dunn. That's Josh Briggs and Brooks Jensen. I think that's the first time I've ever actually said their names. Wanker, which is Hank Walker.
They're for tag team of the year?
Tag team of the year.
Okay.
Alba Fire and Isla Dawn, who I guess they are maybe in another realm or something with the curses. And then the fun-loving festival goers, the new WWE Tag Team Champions on the women's side, Kaden Carter and Katana Chance, or who I'm voting for, Tony D'Angelo and Channing Stacks Lorenzo.
Vote D'Angelo family or else.
Make it happen. Next, we'll talk about that's weird. Wait, what? Okay, now they've got some weird poll stuff up there that doesn't make sense. Who is your early favorite to win the 2022 Women's Breakout Tournament? Like, wait, why did this? Why did this like, I clicked next poll and it just took me to that.
Oh yeah, you can't click next poll. You gotta go back to like the main page.
Did you get that fan council survey the other day where they were like, what are your predictions for 2024?
Yeah, what was that all about?
I wrote out the wildest shit. I just wrote out everything in there. And I was like, Von Wagner's the father of Robert Stone's children.
No, you didn't.
Like, yeah, no, I wrote out, I was like, Chase U settles his gambling debts and becomes a born-again evangelical. And Chase U becomes a theological university. Like, I filled up, I used every character they had just to write crazy predictions for 2024. Yeah.
You got very creative with that.
Yeah, I was bored at the time. I think I got it like when I woke up in the morning and I was still waking up.
Isn't it funny when, depending on when you fill it out, is how explicit you get with your answers? Because I'm the same way. Sometimes I'll write a one-sentence thing and sometimes I'll write them a whole essay about what I thought about this.
Yeah. Like, I bet no one could guess who Issa's male wrestler of the year was in WWE in 2023.
Just in WWE or in general?
When you entered on the fan council thing.
Oh yeah, of course you know who it was.
Yeah, Sami Zayn. That's who she put.
Well, come on, if anybody answers anything other than Roman Reigns, they're lying.
Okay, yes, Tim. We'll talk about Nikita. We'll talk about everything. We'll talk about this next match, the women of Chase U in tag team action, JC Jane and Thea Hale versus Kiana James and Izzy Dame. So Thea's crush was out there supporting.
Oh, that's so cute. I told you it's gonna work out.
Yes, but Kiana James and Izzy Dame won.
Yeah, this was a fun match. I thought Thea looked amazing in there. I think Thea and JC Jane are really looking like a tag team, but I was very shocked by the results. I thought JC and Thea had it in the bag.
Yeah. You know what was more shocking though was after this, Roxanne Perez slapped Ariana Grace in the face.
This was great. Roxanne is unhinged.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting we're gonna have heel Roxanne. That's kind of fun.
No, she deserved to be slapped.
Ariana Grace is Miss NXT.
She was trying to give her a motivational speech. We don't have time for that.
So then we had some NXT North American title action.
What a great match.
Yes. Dragon Lee.
But did you care?
No, I did not. Dragon Lee versus Charlie Dempsey versus Joe Coffey. And Joe Gacy was under the ring, pulling Coffey under the ring.
Why?
Yes, I don't know.
Why? This made no sense. And that sweater he was wearing was hideous.
Yes. What do you think of the name for the No Quarter Catch Crew?
I hate the name.
MC Gulak and everyone.
NQCC, that's what we're gonna call them.
Yes. Dragon Lee is very good, but I mean Dominic Mysterio was so much fun as the North American champion.
Yeah, he was. I think that Dragon Lee, I mean, he can wrestle, but this felt very. I don't want to compare him, but you know how sometimes in AEW we don't have a story and they just book a match because it just looks cool on paper and you know it's gonna be a banger, but you're not emotionally invested. This felt that way.
Yes, it's very 205 Live.
Yeah.
Which when you think about it, the spirit of 205 Live and the Cruiserweight Classic lives on in AEW and occasionally in NXT.
Yep.
And what I mean by that is banger matches light on the story.
Yeah, it was a great match. I just wish I care about these people more.
Yeah. But before that match, we gotta back up a second and talk about Andre Chase and Duke Hudson throwing dice without the mud.
I thought Duke Hudson was the gambling addict. I don't think that's the case, Glenn. He really is Andre Chase.
Yeah, Andre Chase has a problem, y'all.
No, he's just trying to make his money back. I think he's desperate.
He doesn't know when to stop.
And the streets and the bodega boys and Scripps, they're playing him like a fiddle. And then we got a snitch in the D'Angelo family. Oh my God, the drama.
Yeah, so Rizzo showed up.
Were you going to defend her snitchness?
She was keeping Tony D informed because doesn't Chase owe Tony D all this money?
Ever try to make sense out of somebody snitching, Glenn?
She owes Tony D money. She works
for
Tony D.
What was she doing in that side of town?
She was making sure he doesn't gamble away. It's like an Uncut Gems. Remember when Eric Bogosian, in the weird move, just pulled the bet to take the money that he was owed instead? And so Sandler thought he won this huge amount of money, but he pulled the bet because he owed it to the bookie.
Yeah.
That movie stresses me the F out.
Yes.
It's such a stressful movie.
It's actually such a good comparison.
Somebody show that to Andre Chase so he understands what a life of degenerate gambling will.
But there was a bunch of negotiation done here, and I'm still confused about what's going on.
Somehow Out the Mud's getting a championship.
Who's getting a title shot? I'm so confused.
Out the Mud is getting a title shot against the D'Angelo family, was my understanding.
Why?
I don't know. And
I thought that Chase U was trying to double his money. How did we end up getting somebody else a tag title shot? I liked the beginning when they were doing the rolling the dice and all that, but then it got very confusing.
Yeah, it is. It is confusing. But somebody show Andre Chase Uncut Gems as an intervention.
Stop snitching.
So this was fun though. There's got to be a very special.
It was fun. It was a very, very fun. And this Bodega Boys and Scripps, they're up to no good, and I love it.
Yeah. The No Quarter Catch Crew attacked Dragon Lee.
Stop calling them that. Stop calling them that.
But Joaquin Wilde and Cruz del Toro showed up to help Dragon Lee fight them off.
Yes. Okay. Make perfect sense.
Yes.
I mean, he was in SmackDown. He is in SmackDown. I don't know what's going on.
They pre-taped this last week.
Yeah, they did.
It's the end of the year.
I thought LWO looked great, though. They haven't looked that good in the main roster ever.
Yes. Okay. Breakout tournament match, semifinals, Luca Crucifino, the attorney. They should put Esquire after his name.
Yeah, they should. I would love that, actually.
Luca Crucifino, Esquire versus Tavion Heights. With Tavion getting the win.
Tavion Heights sounds like a New Jersey neighborhood that they'll try to tell you that it's up and coming and New Yorkers are moving there, but it's not. Like if you say somebody, I live in Jersey City, and they say I live on the Jersey City Heights. Yeah, that's not as
not with that New Jersey property tax and state taxes.
Right, but Trayvon Heights sounds like, I live in Trayvon Heights. Very up and coming. You know, all it takes is a New Jersey Transit bus in the path, and you're right in the city after an hour of commuting. That's what I thought about.
Most people that's where most people in Tavion Heights work from home.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You know.
Anyways, I thought it was great.
I think Luca Crucifino needs to file an appeal to get a rematch.
Oh no. I really like Trayvon Heights. I think the first time I ever seen him, I thought he looked great here.
Yes.
I feel like I didn't care. I thought it was a great show, but I feel like the segments got me more what Tiffany did in the beginning, but there was a lot of I'm not invested in these people matches tonight.
So NXT year-end awards voting for moment of the year.
Okay.
Roxanne Perez collapses after defeating Meiko Satomura.
No.
Braun Breaker smashes Von Wagner with steel steps. Fallon Henley dresses up like Tiffany Stratton.
These are so depressing. First of all, before you got to Fallon Henley, it's like, this girl collapses. This guy gets taken out with steel steps. Jesus, NXT.
Okay, well, here you're gonna like this: the Free Tony D movement.
Yes.
Trick Williams gets attacked by a mystery assailant.
That's a moment of the year?
Yeah, Lash Legend slams Otis.
Oh, let's go.
Dominic Mysterio ends Wesley's historic North American title reign.
Okay.
JC Jane kicks Gigi Dolan through a door.
Oh, that was good. I forgot about that.
Braun Breaker spears Carmelo Hayes through a wall.
That was fun.
The Undertaker comes to NXT.
Oh, God, that's going to probably win.
Braun Breaker and Baron Corbin crash through Shawn Michaels' office wall. Braun Breaker's basically the Kool-Aid man at this point. He's just smashing through walls.
Yeah, but Free Tony D movement was my favorite thing.
Why not? I thought John Cena in NXT was more fun.
But you couldn't see him, so.
Oh, that's true. Next up, we'll talk about male superstar of the year. But first,
we all know it's Trick Williams, but yeah.
Is Tony D'Angelo on there? We'll see. Let's talk. We had an extended look at Lyra Valkyria versus Blair Davenport.
Great video package, and I learned about their past history and how they couldn't face each other. I didn't know this. So I really, really, really enjoyed the video package and kind of like a little bit of an education on their backstory. Shout out to Joey the Angle podcast in the chat.
Yes. So then backstage, Nikita let Lyra know she's coming for that women's championship. And Noam Dar said that he'll give Josh Briggs a shot at the NXT Heritage Cup in the name of the Christmas Spirit.
I really like the metaphor, but this Heritage Cup thing is annoying.
Yeah, it is. But
they just wrestle like a normal match.
I know. Nikita Lyons versus Tatum Paxley.
Yeah, this happened.
So I still want to learn why Tatum Paxley is stalking Lyra and looked like she tried to kiss her last week.
Because she's crazy.
I get that she's crazy, but I want, you know what we need from her? I need like a Joker style promo of her explaining who she is, what she wants, why she's there, and how she's going to achieve her goal.
Maybe it's because she has a feather fetish.
That is an acceptable answer.
You're welcome.
But we need a promo.
This match was good. I thought Nikita looked great.
I thought Nikita, fantastic showcase for her. Good way to reintroduce her in a
one-on-one
match.
Finisher.
She hit her finisher. Okay,
Which
here's what it is.
People wondering if she was gonna like adjust it because of the leg injury and all that.
Oh no,
but she hit it. Mm-hmm.
So I was trying to think what it is about Nikita Lyons. Like why, with a lot of talents that we champion on this podcast, there's a variety of reasons. But I think with Nikita Lyons, the way that I can really put a point on it as to why I think she's someone to watch and so promising as an NXT talent is in wrestling. Almost every other wrestler and all your favorites, we hear, oh, they're the next so-and-so. They remind me of this person. They remind me of this. And with Nikita, you know what? She's the first Nikita Lyons. And you could say that about very few talents in wrestling today.
I like that. That's actually a great analysis to look at her because you're absolutely right. There hasn't been anyone like her.
No one I could compare her to.
And that's huge. Yeah,
there's not. I mean, she's very unique look, unique moveset, unique presence and charisma. And it's refreshing because I think that in today's homage, mashup, retro obsessed culture, we do pop for things because we go, oh, they remind me of this thing that I loved when I was a kid. Or they remind me of this wrestler that I grew up watching. They remind me of this superstar. And Nikita, yeah, she's truly an original, which is why I think she has amazing amount of potential in the WWE.
And I always love like when you get to be the first off. You know what I mean? Like I always think like there's pioneers, trailblazers that they bring in so many things, but there's always the first person to ever do it. You know what I mean? Like that. Yeah. I think that goes on to live in history a lot more than whoever repeated it. So I like that. I never really thought about that. That's a great way to take a look at what makes her even extra special. Because I do think she oozes like star. Like I always thought that she has that star power and charisma. Like you see her and you're gonna pay attention. And she's gotten very good in the ring as well. I don't think that the injury really set her back.
No.
Last week the tag match, I was like, okay, but she wasn't the only one. I was like, they're all gassing out. They gave him so much time, but I thought tonight she looked like she's been here the whole time. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But and the reason why I thought of this was because I was trying to explain to someone that was saying, oh, you're always talking about Nikita Lyons. Tell me about her. What is she like? And I was like, well, there's no one really to compare her to. So
I say that about Roman Reigns.
There you go. But she won tonight over Tatum, and we'll see where it goes. But I need a Joker promo from Tatum. I need to know what's up in Tatum Paxley world. What's she all about? I want to know. But with Nikita, look, Nikita is costing Blair that title opportunity at New Year's Evil.
I like that. I like that Tatum changed because I remember when we first met her, I felt she was a little, I don't want to say generic, but you just mentioned that it was just a little like another one of the girls back there, the gear, like the way that she looked. So I like that she's taking a whole different approach because now she stands out, but I still don't understand the character now. Like you're absolutely right. We need to know what her motivation is to this huge change.
Yeah. Gallus was in action.
Yeah, and then Joe Coffey was out there like he didn't get dragged under the ring. I expected more from you, Shawn Michaels. The lack of continuation here was terrible.
Maybe he just crawled out from under the ring, and that's why he was there at the ring.
But we never saw it, and even commentary was like, "Oh boy, am I happy to see him because we just saw him get dragged." And I'm like, "Yeah, what does that? Is there a tunnel under the ring that leads to the janitor's mop bucket?"
No, it was like Boba Fett getting dragged into the Sarlacc pit. You know.
Okay.
Like, yeah, you've never seen Star Wars, though, right?
No.
Yeah, that's still so strange to me.
It's not gonna happen.
Really? They're fun movies.
Sure, Glenn.
You like adventure.
I do like adventure.
You like outer space.
I do like outer space.
Han Solo is a space pirate.
What?
Yeah, you didn't know this?
Does he say R?
No, but he's got a
Does
Wookiee.
He drink rum?
What? No, but he's got a Wookiee. He's got like his sidekick is like a big furry dude named Chewbacca.
Does he steal gold? Does he steal anything?
He smuggles. He smuggles and steals.
What, does he steal stars?
Oh, that would be amazing if he did, though.
Yeah, I would.
And not to spoil anything, but
maybe
part of
that started the scam of buy a star online, where you think you're buying somebody a star, but you're not. He's up there collecting it to sell them to you.
See, Han Solo, and the big thing is that Princess Leia is a princess, and they have this amazing like chemistry together. So like it's really cool. I think you would like these movies.
She's a princess of what?
Alderaan. It's a planet.
That's not a real planet.
In Star Wars, it is.
If she's not the princess of Uranus, I don't want it. Love you, Glenn.
Issa, you should, for content, you should do a watch along with Star Wars. Like, this should be a thing for you. Your audience will probably get a real kick in 2023 of you watching Star Wars with fresh eyes.
And my commentary?
Yeah, and your commentary. That would be amazing.
We'll see, Glenn. We'll see.
I want to.
If I do it, you'll have to join me for a few of them.
Absolutely.
We'll hit play at the same time. You know, we'll do it. Yeah.
I mean, there's Darth Vader. He's like a bad guy. Dark side of the Force.
You know who would like Darth Vader? Christian Cage.
Yeah, because he's
their father. Yeah.
Well, okay, so you've already been spoiled on one of the biggest twists of the series.
Well, I don't know, but who doesn't know? I only know about the "I am your father" because of the Mandela effect. That he doesn't say what we all thought he said. That have you heard of that?
Mandela effect? Yes, I think I'm living it all the time.
About his Mandela effect, that he says like something about what we all thought he said is not what he said.
Yes, I understand. It's like in Star Trek, they never said "beam me up, Scotty."
Right.
I'm with you. Okay, so Hank and Tank versus Gallus.
Wankers.
The Wankers versus Gallus, and Gallus got the win.
Yeah, great. And Joe Coffey like magically reappeared, and Joe Gacy was in the crowd in his ugly sweater for no reason. This was ridiculous.
Yes, but let's talk about the NXT year-end awards. Who we're voting for Male Superstar of the Year? The options are Ilya Dragunov, Carmelo Hayes, Trick Williams, Braun Breaker, Wes Lee, Dijak, Dragon Lee, Baron Corbin, Nathan Frazier, or Axiom.
Axiom and Nathan Frazier.
Why isn't Tony D'Angelo on this list?
Axiom is on there? Who made this?
Why isn't Lexis King on this list?
He just got here, bro. It's Trick Williams. Both Trick Williams, everybody.
Why can't I vote for I don't know, Joe Gacy?
Vote for Axiom. I
would vote for Baron Corbin.
Yo, he was better than Axiom and Nathan Frazier, that's for sure. He was better than a lot of names in there.
And because we're about to go off on a real rant here, let's talk about NXT Female Superstar of the Year.
Yes.
The nominees are...
It's Tiffany Stratton, period.
Roxanne Perez, Tiffany Stratton, Thea Hale, Kiana James, Lyra Valkyria, Gigi Dolan, JC Jane, Fallon Henley, Ivy Nile, or Kalani Jordan.
It's Tiffany Stratton. Both Tiffany.
Really, I think Thea Hale did really good work this year, though.
It's Tiffany.
And what about Gigi Dolan?
What has she been?
She showed up a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
Gigi Dolan had a weird year in NXT. She started the year as like the next babyface push. And then it just kind of fizzled out. Now JC Jane's with Chase U.
Yeah, and she's nowhere to be. She's somewhere with a Moss. Oh my God, they're bringing back NXT Underground, Glenn.
I know. You excited?
If Shane McMahon is not in it, I don't want it.
Okay, I also want to point out, it looks like there's no limit on the amount of times you can vote in this.
Oh, let's go.
They probably count IP addresses, though.
Well, we'll use your sheep VPN code.
Oh, yeah, Gigi was backstage tonight. We saw her locker.
Wow.
Okay, so let's talk about this controversial main event tonight. Dragunov versus Ridge Holland. Dragunov was doing a favor for Ridge, giving him this match because Ridge believes he's cursed. He's injured people. We all know what really happened, like the reality of Big E never going to wrestle again, likely, due to the injuries sustained at the hands of Ridge. Ridge, the Brawl Brute. It was an accident. Yeah, absolutely. And these things happen. Big E has said he forgave him. He understands. Big E's recovering. He just shouldn't wrestle again. So this match was actually quite good at the beginning, even though the stakes may have been relatively low, and this was just an exhibition to give us.
It was a non-title match, correct?
Yeah, non-title match. Sorry. So this was really good, but then we go into the overrun, and Dragunov fights out of a suplex attempt, eats a knee. Ridge goes for 10 beats to the Bodhrán. Dragunov gets a near fall and hits an H-bomb. Holland gets a power bomb. Holland hits a pump kick with a near fall. Ridge then goes for the suplex, but Dragunov fights out. And then he hits the vertical suplex DDT on Dragunov. And then Dragunov, let me just say that Dragunov sold this in a way that
Academy Award.
It made this highly uncomfortable with the twitching, the moaning, the pain. They bring out a stretcher. They take him out. I thought, and again, a lot of people online, it's not just us, a lot of people online saying it's very insensitive, poor taste, poor judgment for NXT to do this.
Right.
Because this isn't like a big feud. This isn't, oh my God, this is massive character development for Dragunov or Ridge or Dragunov isn't leaving TV. Like Dragunov has that title match against Trick Williams in 2 weeks in New Year's Evil. I thought 30 seconds into this, at any moment, Dragunov is going to roll over, hit a sneak attack on Ridge and pin him. And this was all a mind game to mess with him and show that Dragunov is like a massive heel just to get massive heat for him being a dick and exploiting Ridge's worst fears.
That would have actually been funny.
Yeah, I mean, I would have been like, okay, that was in poor taste, but Dragunov's an asshole. There you go. Ridge is going to hit bottom and maybe something new comes from this. But instead we see Ridge freaking out. I mean, this went on way too long, was way too real. And I'm actually going to say that for like Ridge, who clearly feels bad about what he did to Big E, making him portray those emotions on screen, looking worried about what he did to Dragunov, like it just feels, I don't know. Yeah, it does feel in poor taste.
It's tacky.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hated it. I hated it. And I, for those in the chat, because I know some of the people in our chat don't watch NXT, this it ran across my timeline as soon as it was taped. And some people had to start coming out and clarifying that it was at work. Like I think Fightful reported that it's at work. Because everybody started freaking out. That's how real it was. You heard the crowd go absolutely quiet. So I didn't like it. I mean, the only kind of sense that I can make out of this, and I feel like you could, if this is where you're going, you could have done this with anybody. You could have given him a rematch with Baron Corbin, because my train of thought was, okay, so they're selling him as he can wrestle. He's going to show up in 2 weeks and try to wrestle Trick and not be at 100%, and Trick gets the win. And that's how we get the title off of him, by still keeping him protected. He wrestled the match not 100%. But if that's what we're trying to do, you could have just done the angle with anybody else that's not Ridge Holland. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The Ridge Holland factor here is what killed me, because I'm like, maybe they're injuring him so when Trick beats him, he can say I was not 100%, or, like we can have a conversation on him and Shawn Michaels not wanting to clear the match because it's not medically clear. You see where I'm going with this.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how we get Trick the NXT World Championship while still keeping Dragunov fairly protected. But if that's where we're going with that, you could have done that with anybody. Anybody could have just wrestled him tonight and injured him accidentally, storyline-wise. You know what I mean? Like the fact that they used Rich and that Rich had to cut that promo about how he's cursed, I just didn't like it.
Yeah.
It was a miss. It was a big miss.
Yeah.
And I want to forget about it. Like I hope we don't have to see them ever interact again.
And I think that I agree with you on all that, where it's just like, oh, this was bad, this was unfortunate. But what I really don't like is I don't like that the NXT writers, who again, normally I think do a very good job of giving us a very entertaining show, sat in a room and I'm going to use the nicest, most G-rated term possible, and were just patting themselves and each other on the back for coming up with this really like, oh my God, we're blowing.
Oh, they
people's
love when
minds.
things get real. Yeah, you know, like I can see it too. Like people love a realistic storyline. Yeah.
The fact they had to I didn't know they had to clarify after the tapings that like, because the audience seemed like very uncomfortable by this.
Yeah.
And if they would have known it was a work at the time, I think they would have been pissed.
Correct. You could see by the crowd reaction and the selling that Dragunov was doing that people really thought something went terribly wrong here. And Luis Rivera in the chat is saying Trick will look weak. Agree, but that's the only kind of sense that I could make out of Dragunov suffering an injury before his title match with Trick Williams. I think Trick needs to beat him clean, but I can see them turning it into that kind of storyline just to protect everybody.
Yeah.
I just didn't like it. And like, there's a part of me that is willing to do the thing that they used to do in the main roster where they just completely drop a storyline and never mention it again. I will be okay if this never gets brought up again.
Yeah. In fact, if this had been real, I don't think they would have shown the episode.
Right. Especially with all the heat on Rich.
They wouldn't have shown that match. Yeah.
It's not just like what happened to begin, but recently too, Elton from they show that it was an accident, but pretty deadly too. He was the one that injured Elton. Hashtag Elton Strong. But yeah, like it's just too real. And this is the one time that I would say, like you said, you can see creatives sitting there thinking, oh my God, this is such a realistic storyline. They're gonna love it. We don't love it. This is not it.
Yeah, NXT is the wrong audience for this because NXT fans know all of it.
Any audience is the wrong, especially with we don't even know if we'll ever see Big E in a ring again.
I mean, the last I've read is it's not looking.
That's what he said. At SummerSlam, he did one of the charity events, and we got to do like a press conference style interview with him, and that's what he said that his doctors were saying no still. Yeah. So we don't know.
Yeah, I think there's like an unwritten rule in wrestling. If it's Nia breaking Becky's nose and Becky's okay, and it was a big moment, it was an accident, but you were able to walk it off and recover quickly, sure, it's okay to reference that. That's adding some real life drama.
Yeah, and they're not making the storyline all about that. Like, I think they're cutting some really great promos on each other where they're bringing that up. Yeah, but the promo is like more about Nia telling Becky, you desperately need this to stay relevant, blah, blah, blah. So, and Becky's trying to tell Nia that's the only thing you're known for. Like, they're not using it directly as the only reason why they're, like, the only thing they talk about in their promos. Where Rich just went out there and was like, I'm cursed, I injure people. That's all he said to me.
I'm sure if somebody could prove me wrong, I'll accept it. But I don't remember Samoa Joe gloating about or referencing what happened with Tyson.
Even when the Muscle Buster came back, they didn't make a big deal about it. They didn't mention it because remember that got banned for a long time. Mm-hmm. As a matter of fact, I don't think he ever brought it back in WWE. I don't think he did a Muscle Buster again until he went to AEW. Again, correct me if I'm wrong. But I don't even think he ever hit that move again. Oh, yeah, he did when he went back to NXT. Yeah. The whole point is that they didn't make a big deal. Like, this is the move that this happened with. Like, no, you just like move on from it.
And Ridge, and to be clear, he was remorseful and felt he was cursed tonight when talking about it. But in the past, they played up after the Big E thing about him being dangerous on SmackDown.
Mm-hmm.
Look, these injuries happen. I think that WWE should be doing everything possible to minimize when these injuries happen. Should treat them with sensitivity and respect. And it just felt very it felt exploitative tonight to do this.
I agree. Usually we get on here, we're excited to talk NXT. This is our favorite show that we do. But I will say, like, I left tonight kind of weird, and there's a part of me that is like, I'm okay if they never mention it again. I'm okay with it being a miss. It was a pre-tape. They expect low viewership. Let's just move on from it. That's how I feel because they already did it. You can't take it back.
No, if I were them, I'm sorry.
Go ahead. No, you go ahead.
I was gonna say, if I were them, I would have a video out tomorrow, and I would have Dragunov saying, "Ridge, I did this because I wanted you to face your worst fears. because you need to do that to get over it, move past it. No, I'm telling you, because they need to I mean, they can't just say, they can't have Ridge just like limp his way into the ring next week and be like, I'm doing okay, guys. I'm doing okay. Anyhow, Trick Williams next week at New Year's Evil.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can do that. Yeah, you
Maybe
can.
they can. Maybe they can.
I'm telling you, I have a feeling, and we'll see. We always like remind each other. I have a feeling that they're just going to sell it as he's not going to be cleared by New Year's Evil, and they're still gonna try to he's still gonna try to get the match. Like, I feel like that's where we're going with this, but I don't know that Rich needs to ever be mentioning to it anymore.
Yeah, just very strange.
Very, very, very. It was a big miss. Tonight's show, it was interesting. I was enjoying more some of the backstage segment than the matches. The matches I felt were good, were bangers. There was a lot of them that I just didn't. I'm not invested. The breakout tournament will become invested in these people, but we're just getting to know them. So throwing breakout tournament matches that we don't know the contestants and matches that are just thrown together for a pre-tape show, it just didn't feel like my favorite episode of NXT. So I'm not saying it was bad. It just wasn't my favorite. It was very mid, and the ending did not help the situation.
Did they pre-tape next week also?
No, I think next week it's live.
Crazy. We're not. But it is.
Maybe not. I don't know. Maybe it's just SmackDown, the one that's live, because they pre-tape this week's SmackDown. Mm-hmm. Maybe they pre-tape 2 NXTs. I'm not sure, honestly.
And it's weird. I mean, even with Charlotte just getting injured and now being out, I mean, injuries are a fact of life in wrestling, but I don't think that
was another big news this week. Those broke my heart. She's going to be out for a lot longer than anticipated. His injury seems to be quite serious. And I wish her nothing but a safe recovery. Take your time, but come back, because I'll miss her. I love Charlotte.
Absolutely. Yeah, the roster is back on the road next week, day after Christmas.
Yeah, but that's the main roster. They could have taken 2 NXTs. I'm not sure. Back in the day, they used to take 2 weeks worth of NXT, remember? But they might want to do it live since it's the go-home show before the big special.
Yeah, before New Year's Evil. So we'll see. Yeah. But Issa and I will be back Friday for SmackDown. Tomorrow night, the AEW crew will be here, and next week I believe Wrestling Inc. is off all next week for the end of the year.
I'm so happy about that, Glenn. Like, sometimes it's good to disconnect, you know.
Sure,
I'm gonna miss you. I'll be texting you, but every once in a while it's good to unplug, and if you choose to watch the shows, you watch them because you want to. You know what I mean? Like, it's good to take a quick break.
I agree.
Hey, Glenn. I love you.
Love you too, Issa. Okay, Friday, we're going to be back. And everybody let us know. Let us know what you think of this angle. I think it was just a strange choice.
It was just distasteful.
Yeah. But Friday night, SmackDown, we'll be here. Everybody, have a good run up to your holiday. Find Issa at NYC Demon Diva. That's Diva with a 1. I'm Matt Glenn Rubenstein. We'll catch you back here next time on the Wrestling Inc. podcast. Take care.